Welcome back to the show. How has summer kicked off for you? Mine has been pretty great, right? No complaints. Danny and I have been waiting all year long for these long summer days to have our pool parties in the late afternoon. And it's been raining during that time, like most of the days. And of course, on the days that it isn't raining, we've had something to do. It's like womp womp, but you know how that goes, right? Well, I do love rain because I feel like it just like cleans everything starts new, and it just allows for so much growth. And seeing all the green outside, all the trees growing, the plants growing, the birds chirping, it's just amazing, right? And when this episode airs, I should be on my way to my mastermind retreat. And I just cannot wait to see all my friends in real life, right? Instead of just on Zoom or in Voxer. Are you in a mastermind? I'm super curious. Definitely let me know. And there's nothing like being gathered together in person. And what I really love about all these live events is just being solely focused on your business. It like allows this creativity because you're not having these distractions that you normally get through the day, and all these like ideas and thoughts and innovations and everything come just like flood in, right? Not only for me and my business, but for my clients' business. And I just cannot wait to start hosting my own retreats and facilitating incredible experiences for others. All right, so this year, I am all about creating predictable growth. And in order to have growth, period, you need to have more people know who you are and what you're about and ultimately follow you, right? Well, the problem is there are so many people not growing, not because they're not good or they don't know enough or they're not like an expert in their field. It's because they're making mistakes unbeknownst to themselves. And then they're wondering like, why aren't I getting leads or why aren't I getting the sales, right? Well, that's why today we are diving into the 5 common mistakes when it comes to driving traffic, which is costing you leads and sales. All right, so let's dive in. Mistake number 1. They are not running Facebook ads at all, all right, or any paid traffic, right? Now, some businesses don't attempt to run ads because they think it's too complicated and they don't know where to begin, and they feel like it's more of a hassle to learn than it is to get the results in their business. And they're not willing to invest the time or the money that it takes for their business in order to scale. Well, by doing that, they're actually delaying their growth, right? It's like one of those things where it's like, I'm going to save a little money here, but then it's costing you all this time there, right? And this thing, and you're not really you're looking at the immediate rather than the big picture. So as you step into this CEO that I know you're meant to be, super powerful, right? Really badass, like you're in here to make decisions, you're looking down the road and you're really looking like, how can I get there? And those people that are those influencers or those other people that you're looking up to, they are using Facebook ads because the fastest growing businesses are scaling with ads because they know that they have to be seen to sell. And if you're not being seen, then you will stay the best kept secret. So to avoid the mistake of not running ads and staying that best kept secret, all you need to do is have a simple plan for your ad campaigns that attract and connect with your ideal customer. And you can build that know, like, and trust factor very, very quickly by running some of these campaigns. And they don't even have to cost you an arm and a leg, right? All right, mistake number 2, they do not stay top of mind with their warm audience, okay? Now, this is a crucial step people miss because they're thinking like, oh, they're already engaging with my page or they're already on my email list, right? Well, if you're thinking this way, I ask that you reconsider thinking this way and consider this. Here's the thing. We know that only 1% to 3% of people who are following us on social media actually see our content. And sometimes people opt into our list and they quickly forget who we are. Like, I mean, a 25% open rate is like really good, right? And then the click-through rate is even lower, right? The click-through rate means like when you have your emails and you put links for them to like go someplace, that's even lower. So I don't know about you, but I've opted in for tons of stuff, especially because I'm into like hacking everybody and swiping all their stuff and just kind of, I love marketing and I love to see like what's working for people or what different people are doing. But even if it's something that I really wanted, like I might get an email from someone later and be like, wait, who is this? Like, why are they sending emails? How did I enter their world? Right. So the idea is to showing up in your warm audience's feed with valuable content. Staying top of mind is the key to building a relationship with your ideal customer. And there are a few people that come across my feed all the time, and I just soak up their content and feel like they're BFF, right? Or consider them a mentor from afar, and we've never even met. They don't even know who I am because they have no idea what they're doing that's impacting my life, right? So I also tell my friends, hey, do you follow this person? Like, did you see what they posted today? Right? Has that ever happened to you? Just like out of question, like, am I the only one that does this? Because I don't think so, right? I want to show you that you're actually doing this because somebody else's marketing is working because you're following it, right? So before you know it, one of two things happen. Number one, they are primed and ready to buy whatever you're selling, okay? Or number two, they'll be asking to work with you and you haven't even presented an offer yet. So think about that for a minute, how crazy cool that would be, right? It's like you get them in your ecosystem, you get them on your list, and it's like, even if you use, now you might be thinking to yourself, because this has come up a lot of times before, where it's like, okay, wait a minute, now I got to come up with one more piece of content. I got to come up with it. No, how about you use whatever you're talking about in your emails and put it in an ad somehow, right? Just an idea. Okay, mistake number 3. They don't take the time to do research, right? Or they don't do enough research, or they're just doing research once, right? This is the part most people think that they already know. Like you're probably already fast forwarding this part when I said research. And really they don't, right? Or they're thinking like, oh, this is so time consuming. They lose their patience and they move on. Because if you notice that most of the time, anytime you buy some sort of marketing course, they have you go through this. And sometimes you might even skip that lesson because you're like, oh, I already did this in this other thing, right? However, this is the most important part to any marketing strategy because you have to know who your ideal customer is inside and out. Not only where they hang out, but what words are they using? How are they describing those pain, struggles, dreams, and desires, right? And the only way to avoid this mistake is to do market research and do it often. Ask your current customers or other people that you know that are a great fit for your product or service, and really just kind of ask them so many questions, right? And don't be embarrassed. Ask them as many as you want. I mean, don't keep them on for hours on end, but you get it, right? You want to know like specifically how they describe them. And one of my clients, Beverly, she like kind of she one-ups her her research, and she does it with her Facebook ads. So she's like, most people think Facebook ads are just for, getting new clients. She's like, but I use them to test my messaging, right? So she used video view campaigns in order to do some of her market research and test the messaging. And what one type of message, she's like, I know I'm going to nail this, Michelle. She's like, I put it out there and it flopped, right? So she was able to switch it up. And something that she didn't really think was going to work, or maybe it was second or third down on her testing list, actually worked better than what she thought would be. So sometimes we think we know what our people want, but they don't. And research allows us to figure that out. Okay. And research is also important for 2 things. Number 1, your targeting, right? And number 2, your messaging. So without these 2, your marketing will just not be successful. Okay. Mistake number 4, they don't know what to track in regards to their metrics, right? Therefore, they don't know if their ads are actually working, if their funnels are actually working, right? Because we're talking about predictable growth. Like, how do we know what's going on? We're talking about driving traffic, growing, right? If you don't know what's working, what's going to happen? So most likely you're going to think it's your ad. So you turn those off way too soon. Because most people think the role of the ad is to get that sale or to get that lead, when in actuality, the role of the ad is to get the click. Right? It's your job, once they click over to wherever you're sending them, to convert that action into whatever that action is you want them to take, right? Whether it be a lead or a sale. So knowing which metrics to track and what they mean is really the key to the success of your campaigns, right? Some people solely focus on the cost per lead or the cost per click. And if they think it's too high, they start freaking out, right? So let's just put some things in perspective for you. If you have a program that's $5,000 and your cost per lead is even 100, right? Like even when I say that, honestly, I'm like, like it just like hits you in the gut, right? However, that's $4,900 in profit. So I would take that $100 cost per lead all day long, right? And we got to remember for just a minute, when it comes to paid advertising, we need to remember that with all these privacy policies changing, the algorithm's changing, right? Who we can actually target is changing. We just know that inflation's going up. What maybe used to cost you $3 a lead could be costing you $12 a lead, right? What was costing you maybe $7 a lead before is now costing you $12 to $20 a lead before. All right. So it's the name of the game. It's how things go, right? It's just something that's happening and it's evolving as we figure this whole privacy policy thing out and how to work around it so we can actually get secure and comfortable with what we're doing. And we're always still going to have things that are coming up, and it's really the cost of doing business, and it's still less expensive than if we even did old school marketing and going on the radio, going on TV, advertising in the paper, right? So we really just have to be grateful that we have these platforms that we can advertise on, and we can be able to draw this information and get these leads and get these sales at a much lower cost, okay? And here's the thing. I know that I nerd out on metrics all the time, and you can too. However, you can also keep it super simple and track a few metrics to make sure you're within the benchmarks, right? Because once you know the benchmarks, then you know whether you're like the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And then you know what to do based on those benchmarks and what decisions to make in order for you to run successful, profitable ad campaigns. Make sense? Okay. The last of the common mistakes is that they don't have a strategy. Most people are running their ad campaigns blindly with no plan and no strategy. So will you get the results if your targeting and messaging is on point? Yes, you will. However, if you have a full ad campaign funnel strategy, right? Even if we shift over to your actual landing page funnel, if you have the whole funnel, all your funnels working in harmony. I'm talking about your ads, your landing page, your emails, your text messaging, right? When you have them all working in harmony and you know what metrics to track on everything to see like where are the gaps throughout my whole marketing funnel, that's where you're truly going to see the highest return on your investment. And this may sound overwhelming, right? However, if you have a proven plan to follow, right? It's just simple to follow and simple to create. That weight just lifts off your shoulder, okay? Strategy is what gives you the confidence to decide, commit, and succeed, especially with Facebook ads, right? Another client of mine, she has a self-liquidating offer or SLO, right? Funnel running, and she's making a $45.50 per purchase profit, right? So a 50 cent profit per purchase, right? Because she has a strategy in place, because she knows the benchmarks, because she knows what to do when she sees those numbers and what decisions to make and what she needs to correct. Make sense? Okay, so question for you. Have you ever found yourself making any of those mistakes? You can be honest. This is a no judgy zone. Let's be honest, you're by yourself listening to this right now, so no one's going to judge you, right? And can you see how easy it is to avoid these mistakes if you had the right tools, if you had the right system, right? Somebody to teach you all these things, right? So it's really time to just get honest with yourself. What mistakes are you making? What did you not even know was a thing? Like you didn't even know that it was a mistake that you were making, like maybe even staying top of mind. Maybe you didn't know that was a thing. Or maybe you didn't know something was a mistake. You thought, oh, I thought everybody was doing this, right? Think about, what is it costing you? Is it costing you money? Is it costing you time, right? So let's say you're running ads right now. What is that costing you by making some of these mistakes? I just was going over a weekly report with one of my clients, and she was like, wait a minute, we're 10xing my ad spend with sales. Then why aren't I spending more money? I'm like, good question, right? Because even hiring me, a Facebook ads expert, that she's like, okay, I'm trusting you're going to do this. We're now actually last week it was like 12 or 15x, like, because we're improving each week. And honestly, some weeks, like maybe her cost per lead was, you know, 45 cents. The next week it was 30, and then it's back up to 45 or 50 cents, whatever it is. And the difference fluctuates every week, but we're still looking at the profitability. And to be honest, if you're profitable, you're doing great, right? So it's always about how we can improve that. And she's still kind of like, okay, I've had whatever experiences had led her to make the decisions. But now that she sees like, okay, it's going together, now it's giving her the confidence to say, okay, if I put a little bit more money in this and we do this slowly and progress upwards, what might my business become? How can I now start creating this predictable growth in my business? Because that's what we all want. We want to grow and we want to be able to predict what our revenue is going to be, right? So even if you're running ads and you're getting great results, what is it costing you by not scaling? How much money are you actually leaving on the table? And if you're not running ads, how much money are you leaving on the table, and how much time, like how much more time will you continue to waste going at a snail's pace, trying to do everything organic, right? Burning yourself out, hiring all these people on your team to do all these things organic when you can have something just doing it on its own versus going much faster, right? Because the fastest growing businesses are scaling with Facebook ads, right? And when you're thinking like you're not ready, or I've tried that before and it didn't go well, my question is, did you have a strategy? Did you do the market research? What were your metrics? If I asked you right now, what were the metrics? Could you tell me? Could you tell me what they were? And could you tell me what you could have changed to improve them? Right? Someone asked me the other day, Michelle, when should I start running ads? Like when I get to six figures, multiple six figures, like she just kept going on and on and on, right? After like 5 minutes of her like kind of going through it, you know, talking it through on herself, she's like, what do you think? And I'm like, now. My answer was super simple. And I'm like, you just got to get started, right? And I get it. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to learn all the things. I don't have the resources to hire it out, you know, or I just want to do it myself. You know, just think about getting started. However you're doing it, you can get started. You can do this on your own. It is totally possible. Don't feel pressure that I have to hire an agency. You know, I have programs that can help you from beginner to intermediate. Like we got your back. We're here to support you because I am truly on a mission to help people create this predictable growth within their business, right? All right. If you found this episode helpful, I would love for you to go in and leave an honest review on iTunes. That would be incredible. Okay. I would really, really appreciate that because I know that you're here because you want big picture. You want to focus on strategy and connections where you can start to create that predictable growth. And then with the relationships that you're creating, the conversions happen so you can then create predictable profit. Make sense? All right. I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, let's grow your business together.